Greetings everyone, KuroBlitz here, and today I'm here to talk about another video of the Pokemon anime Journey series. Today it will be an interesting one given about the episode The Journeys 49 that aired yesterday, Koharu and the mysterious Eevee. What a great way to end the year of 2020 with the Pokemon anime. So, as we all know, Koharu caught an Eevee yesterday, and this Eevee is a very special one since it cannot evolve due to her personal hesitation, which ties in perfectly with Koharu's story and development, and hopefully Eevee as well as Yamper will be the catalyst for Koharu to develop into a greater character. Now, as in regards to what her goal or endgame will be, that I do not know of, however I do have an idea for what her future as a trainer should be. And that's because of her two puppy Pokemon with tail hearts that are Yamper and her Eevee. So, given the nature of these Pokemon and the way that Koharu also has an interest for Asian Pokemon like Fossil, like we've seen in the Aerodactyl episode, given that Yamper is a dog and dogs can collect bones and Eevee will use her tail as a brush in the next episode with the Dracovish and whatnot, I believe that, and this is thanks to my great friend Trayman1, I'll leave the link in the description below, that this Eevee and Yamper will help Koharu to become a Pokemon archaeologist. So basically she'll be like Lenora. Well, she has Deer, so we have the puppy thing from Yamper and the brown thing from Eevee, but she will be more like going into the field, not being a paleontologist, but yes, a full-on archaeologist, and that will help also with Ash and Go, because with Go's smarts and Ash's athletics, Koharu has the potential for her personal growth and to use the boy's knowledge and skills to her own benefit. But why the archaeologist route? Well, here's some interesting points that I want to bring up for you. So, when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were to be released, they decided to approach the contest route for Serena, but doing the showcases and making her a Pokemon performer instead of being a coordinator. They even gave her an Eevee to become a Sylveon due to this execution. It's kind of Kanto pandering in a way, but for Serena it works, and this is what is going to work for Koharu as well, in her future to become a Pokemon archaeologist. Needless to say that no companion has ever been this character class before, so it will be interesting if Koharu does, because given the digging duo of Galar and also the digging Ma and the digging Pa of the Isle of Armor, with the Alolan Diglets and also the Alolan variants that she could also get for Go, with Ash doing the Cub Food training or whatever, we have Beat. Beat was not in the Darkest Day arc. Beat's character will most likely be completely different from the games. He'll continue to have ties with Opal, and Koharu and Sonia will most likely meet and they have the talk, etc, etc. But the Galarian mines are where Koharu will shine. So maybe Beat, the anime version of himself, will be a rival to Koharu in some department. Maybe it's because of the beauty aspects and whatnot. And also the max layers for the Dynamax adventure with legendary Pokemon. This is why the whole Mewtwo and Zapdos is going to lead. Koharu will most likely help Ash and Go with these raid battles, maybe not just in dens but in several locations from the Pokemon world, like Sky Pillar for Rayquaza, Hall of Origin for Arceus, Mount Stark for Etran, who knows, the sky's the limit with this girl, honestly. And speaking of such, in the Crown Tundra, we also have the character of Peony and his daughter Peonia, who are explorers as well, so it could lead Koharu into the more expedition aspect of being a Pokemon archaeologist. And Peony is also a student, just like her, who has a father who she looks up to, even though she kind of brushes up a little bit, but it's exactly like how Koharu is with Professor Sakuragi. So, in a way, it works. Not to mention that if we do not have Brandon for the Reggie plot, we will still have the Reggie plot, because Brandon talked about the Pokelantis that was in Kanto. That's where Koharu lives. So maybe Koharu will be the one to aid Ash or Go or whatever with the new Reggies. maybe even Yamper can battle one of these Regis. And given the dragon crystals that she has with Regidrago, because Regidrago was most likely created with the scales of Eternatus, wishing stars, we can have development for Yamper and Eevee as well, for the Gigantamax Eevee. And Gigantamax is also one thing, because in Kanto, in the Pokemopolis episode, we saw this giant Pokemon, so maybe it's like a hint at Dynamaxing at the time. I don't know, but it's funny to think about, like, all of this Galar and Kanto are being linked, all thanks to Koharu's potential development. And with that, she will get her own wishing star, and we will get Gigantamax Eevee. And I will talk about the uses of Gigantamax Eevee in a later moment. But for now, Sinnoh Underground. This is the big one. This is the factor that will lead all of the Galar minds and whatever into the potential remakes. So yeah, it will be interesting because if Sinnoh remakes, if Diamond and Pearl returns for the Switch, the Sinnoh Underground was in the second screen, and we'll now have only one screen, so it will be kind of different. But all of these expeditions and mines and fossils and whatever, it could lead Koharu into Sinnoh Underground, or even something Sinnoh related, because in Sinnoh we have the Moss Rock and the Ice Rock. It's basically giant versions of the Leaf and Ice Stone for Eevee to become Leafeon and Glaceon. So yeah, I do like the idea of Koharu actually being a Pokemon archaeologist, because she could be like Lara Croft and Nathan Drake. Can you imagine like how badass Koharu would be if she was like going to the treasure hunting or dungeon crawling like Tomb Raider and Uncharted? She would be Dora the Explorer, but with so much extra steps, and I'm totally here for it. And not to mention that Sinnoh has one Pokemon, a fossil Pokemon called Shieldon. Shieldon is a little quadruped, like Yamper and Eevee are. And there was a giant Shieldon in the Pewter Museum that sadly the kids were not able to see due to giant lines. However, there is another character who has a connection with Shieldon as a species, and that character is Gary Oak. In Diamond and Pearl, Gary Oak was able to save some Shieldon from being hunted by Hunter J. Not to mention that if Gary Oak returns, it will not help only the Shieldon thing with archaeology and paleontology for Koharu, but you also had an Eevee, so it will help Koharu as well. Not to mention that Gary's researching will help Go, and it will help Ash to motivate him more for the rivalry towards the Pokemon World Championships. So Gary is a must to return for the Journeys trio. End of discussion. Now, for the next episode we will feature Dracovish. Sadly, many people want Ash to get Dracovish, but if Ash gets Dracovish, he will be shafted because of Lucario. So I would prefer if another companion had them. If we count the tree and Caralis, each of them could get one. But if one of the trio has an electric one, the Zolts, it will not work. So maybe what I want to see is maybe the Dracos go to one researcher and the Arctos go to Kara. It is very difficult to see, but we saw how the bamboozle of the Marshtomp was. So if Dracovish goes to one, okay. If it doesn't, whatever. But going to Ash, it's kind of So maybe I would prefer to go to Kara. However, it could work also on Koharu's favor, and here's why. If Ghost Sobble evolves into Drizzile and he'll learn how to make bubbles and toss them like Pokeballs, that pretty much shows that Go will get all of the final evolutions of the Galar trio, and I'm fine with that. It will make sense that he'll get Drizzile for Grookey to show up, and Drizzile's emo phase will make Cinderace being like, oh damn, I was like this, and Grookey will be the new baby. Let's see how it is. But the making of bubbles, it could make like a water helmet for Dracovish to breathe. It would be like how Dewpider did that in Sun and Moon. However, Eevee, if Eevee somewhat learns Bouncy Bubble, it can also work for Dracovish's favor. Because when Eevee Gigantamax and uses Bouncy Bubble, Eevee will be able to do Max Geyser and make it rain. If Eevee makes it rain, Dracovish will run faster in slippery floors, and it will basically be a beast in battle. It's a little of a conundrum because if only with rain and bubbles, if not, Dracovish would be like the Saitama of the show. It would be like One Punch Man, where Fish's Rant would destroy everything with one shot, and then he would have to be retreated after round 1. So Dracovish is a very glass cannon-y Pokemon. It could work, it could not, but now here's the major thing about the fossils and the stones and all of the archaeology stuff, and it's the evolutionary stones. As we know, some evolutions were retconned to evolve with stones. However, given the genetics of Koharu's Eevee, I would love that Koharu would go around the world and collect the stones, maybe like badges or ribbons or medals or whatever, and use these stones to make Eevee learn the partner move. But the partner move will be like a 4th one. It will always be interchanging via move relearner, but the Thunder, Water, and Fire Stone, it could be for the moves of the Kanto evolutions. The Sun and Moon Stone, we had the Sun Shard and the Moon Shard in Colosseum and XD, so Espeon and Flareon. The Icy and the Leaf for Glaceon and Flareon, and for Glaceon and Leafeon. Now, the Shiny Stone, the one that evolves Togekick into Togekiss. It's Fairy type, so it will be for Sylveon, for Sylveon's move, Swirly Swirl. The Everstone, it will be for Vivivoli. I don't know how they make it work in the anime. Maybe Koharu will shake her the Rotom phone like a Nintendo Joy-Con. And for the Dawn Stone. The Dawn Stone in Japanese is called the Awakening Stone, so maybe it will help Eevee to awaken the secret techniques or the HMs, because it's a stone named after a character from the anime in Gen 4, Dawn, and goddamn, did Sinnoh had a lot of HMs, didn't it? So yeah, this could work. Koharu using stones to interchange Eevee's partner move, like how Red did for Eevee's evolutions in the Pokemon manga. It could work, and this is going to be very interesting because it will give more relevance to the Don George-like character, the Roman, the guy who the curator. So yeah, this Ruin Maniac dude, it will get more relevant with the passage of time. It will be very interesting if Koharu actually goes into the archaeology route. Not to mention that, if Let's Go Johto comes into play, as well as Sinnoh remakes, you will get the Ruins of Alph, and we'll get an Arceus plot, maybe something like an Alpha episode for the post-game of Diamond and Pearl remakes. So it just works. It works perfectly with the fossil puzzles and whatnot. It's just amazing. Archaeologist Koharu will be like a great character to see. Not to mention, archaeology is what led for the creation of Mewtwo. They went to Guyana in movie 1 because of Miyamoto, Jesse's mother, and they found Mew and created Mewtwo because of archaeology. So it leads to Koharu and Go alike. As for the Max Dance, as well as the Wishing Star that Koharu will get, maybe the Draconic energy will influence Eevee to later on in Gen 9 become a Dragon evolution, since Dragon is a special type in Gen 3 and all of Eevee's evolutions are special in terms of move split. However, given the fossil nature, I would love for Eevee to become a rock type, like Leafeon or Pebbleon or Fossilion, whatever. For now, Eevee works. We'll get to Gen 9 when we'll get there. But yeah, Koharu's future seems promising. She and Professor Sakuragi are basically Professor Juniper, Aurea, and Cedric. However, Koharu will be like Cedric out in the field doing archaeology, and Sakuragi will be like Juniper, Aurea, and do the research at home in the laboratory. So yeah, Archaeologist Koharu, get ready everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your ideas in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, have an awesome day, trainers.